education, it's such a key. You've got the NHS and education, arguably the two biggest areas of concern for voters that Holyrood has control over. And you could probably say, look, the NHS is kind of unfixable. I don't think a health secretary is going to come in and fix the NHS, whereas education can be fixed. This is something that is a manageable problem. And we know that because other parts of the UK and other countries are fixing it.
I think a problem with democracy is that, like, ironically, if there was one thing, if a country was a start-up business, then you would probably invest almost everything in education and very little in sort of like services for old people. But we're not. We live in a democracy where kids don't have a vote and old people are vote more than anyone else. And so what we see is a constant lack of resources going into education, kids, and a disproportionate amount going into services for older people.
Ironically, the amount of investment that's gone into the school buildings is quite good. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching this all over Scotland, I see brand spanking new school buildings. So the school estate, when I first came to Scotland, it was the stories were always about Scotland's crumbling schools. Yeah. That seems to be, but it's actually what happens inside the schools is the problem.
I would agree
now.
with that. The school I went to in Dunfermline, which I won't name, in the 1990s, it was quite literally falling down. Right. And then latterly burned down. Thankfully, a weekend when nobody was in it, and they have now replaced it. But no, you're absolutely right. The quality of the school estate is noticeably, massively improved. In my experience, working in local papers, I used to go out to stories in schools fairly regularly. But yeah, it's night and day compared to what it was. But of course, the important thing is what happens in the classrooms.
Yes. Yeah.
And that will be something that will be talked a lot about in the lead up to the 2026 Holyrood election, which we mentioned at the start of the episode.